Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about the video that I put out earlier about Xbox Series S or being able Xbox just making games exclusively for Xbox Series X. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We need to talk about this for a minute, okay? Because Nintendo's not doing this type of stuff. PlayStation's not doing this type of stuff. But there seems to be something wrong with what Xbox has got going on right now. There's something wrong. There's something wrong in the development pipeline for these next gen games that are coming to Xbox. If that's the Series S, so be it. So be it. If they made a mistake, whatever. Let's figure out a solution and move past it so we can stop having to deal with these delays. Now, here's my simple solution that everybody, if there's no reason to defend this whatsoever, guys. There's no reason to defend this. We've been waiting for 3 years now. I'm going to give you my solution, but I'm going to tell you something right now. They talked about the tools. They talked about RDNA 2, full RDNA 2. Well, we're still waiting for features for full RDNA 2, are we not? I mean, that is 100% true to say that. Well, it just so happens that a few months ago, RDNA 3 was released into the wild on PC. So we're already a generation behind, and we still don't even have all of the RDNA tools being used in the Xbox games, in the Xbox ecosystem. PlayStation, on the other hand, they went with some of their own solutions and put them in there. So their PlayStation 5 is not technically 100% RDNA 2. It's got that special stuff that PlayStation put in there, like better ray tracing. We've all seen it with our own eyes. I've seen it with my own eyes on my own screens that, yes, the PlayStation 5 does actually output better ray tracing. It does. And there's reasons for that, because the PlayStation baked in a better solution than what RDNA 2 had. PlayStation 5 is already actively using and utilizing the tools that they put in their API so that they could bring you a next-gen PlayStation 5 experience. And now that I look back across all of the complaining I did about PlayStation 5 this generation, because I was so like, oh yeah, I was caught up in the marketing moment. I was over ecstatic with all the good things that I was getting from my Xbox Series X. I was getting free upgrades for all my games that I already bought. I was getting, I felt like Xbox cared enough about my investment in their ecosystem that they were doing everything they could to make my experience better with the things I already bought, and I was expecting good things going forward. And I still do. I still have faith that Xbox is going to deliver this generation. So before you start calling me a traitor or a PlayStation fanboy or a pony or whatever, I've told you guys a couple weeks ago that this is not a fanboy channel. I don't care about the console wars whatsoever. Now I'm going to tell you about the solution that I have that Xbox could implement, get off the ground, and get moving very fast and be able to 100% fix this problem. The weakest link in the chain is the Xbox Series S. And there's no denying that. It does have less power. It is not... It does have less power. I think there might have been... Maybe a couple mistakes, with memory bandwidth, maybe with not enough memory, just certain things that could potentially hamper the Xbox Series S. And I clearly, I made a mistake too, because I didn't really realize this until we started getting actually some next gen games on the PC, and I was starting to see just how unoptimized and how bad things were starting to get because of the different allocations and the RAM allotment. Going from an 8 gig card to a 10 gig card didn't solve any of that. There are going to be some significant bottlenecks in this generation that the Series S might have a problem overcoming. It just might. And I didn't want to believe it. Just like you, I have an Xbox Series S. I've seen some amazing things on this Xbox Series S. I've played some amazing games. I've seen this thing punch above its weight. more than once, more than twice. But I also have seen it underperform and underperform significantly. And when I'm talking about underperform significantly, I'm talking about games like Metro Exodus. Some of the new stuff that they brought to the game really does kind of drag the image quality down. They put in a 60 frames per second mode in Dying Light 2, and I've watched the image quality drastically reduce on the Xbox Series S. Now, it's playable, but is it optimal for a $70 game? This is what you got to ask yourself. Yes, the Xbox Series S is a good system. It's a good console, and it does give you most of the time with these cross-gen games, yes, it does give you a good experience. Even with the Matrix Reloaded demo, you were still getting a playable experience, and it still looked fairly decent. But that's the thing, guys. Like, not all games are going to be poorly optimized, and some are going to run just fine on the Xbox Series S. Some of them are going to be just fine. But then there are other games out there that are not going to deliver a $70 experience for you at launch. And we've seen that. Like Gotham Knights, I'm very happy with the Gotham Knights. Very happy. 1440p, 30 frames a second. It runs pretty dang good. It stays locked. The image quality looks great, especially on a 1440p monitor. Like I said, a game like, Far Cry 6 looks and runs amazing on that. Assassin's Creed Valhalla looks and runs amazing on it. We have lots and lots and lots of examples of games running very well on Xbox Series S. We do. There's no denying that. And anybody saying that the Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S is a weak console or it's holding everything back or it's a potato, I can't guarantee that's not true, that it's holding things back. But I can also say that, man, I've seen it do some pretty good things that I didn't expect it to do. Like, I've already seen it. Resident Evil 4 looks amazing and runs great on it. Resident Evil Village looks and runs amazing on it. There's games out there that have 100% convinced me, convinced you, convinced a lot of people that the Xbox Series S is more than capable of holding up to the end of this generation. But then if we dial it back and we actually look at the worst case scenarios that we've seen on Xbox Series S, we have to stop and we have to ask ourselves, is this something that we're prepared to accept throughout the whole generation? Or is there something that Microsoft can do right now to nip this in the butt and make this a better experience overall? I think they do. And here is my solution to the problem. Rebrand Xbox Series S, market it for kids and family. And by doing that, they can utilize some of the studios they already have. They already have Compulsion Games, they already have an Exile, they already have Rare, they already have Playground Games, they have multiple studios, Double Fine, these studios, Tango Gameworks, some of these studios that can build games directly for Xbox Series S. And then, of course you'd get those on your Xbox Series X too. But they can repurpose some of these studios to build games for the Xbox Series S, kind of like Nintendo, and 100% compete with Nintendo with the Xbox Series S to bring in those younger generation of gamers over to Xbox so that they can build that base and so they can build what they already have out without having to put the Xbox Series X at a disadvantage. I'm not saying that it does, but we have ample precedent right now that would suggest that it does. All major Xbox games are getting delayed. All of them. We've seen this thing run Flight Simulator. We've seen it happen. We know that the Xbox Series S is there and can do it. But this solution that I'm bringing forward would 100% take the pressure off the devs, take the pressure off the Series S, take the pressure off of Xbox completely, because they could 100% market, hey guys, We're marketing Series S, kids and family. We're going to do our best to make sure that you still have access to Xbox Series X games through via Xbox X Cloud. So if you have good internet, if you live in a place that has good internet, you'll get a pretty decent experience. If you live somewhere that does not have access to that, then it would give you cause for concern. You wouldn't be able to utilize that to play those games, and they would have to make sure that, hey, like you have to know, if you live in a place that doesn't have good internet service, you might not be able to utilize some of these other next gen games that are going to be built specifically on the Xbox Series X platform. That there would make it so at least you would still have some sort of, being able to play those games at 1080p 60 by streaming them down through the cloud. That would definitely work. That would take some pressure off. But as they begin to build games exclusively for Xbox Series X, when they do get done with those and they get them out, they get them running, then they can start to work on backporting them to Xbox Series S so that you can play those games natively on the console. I feel like if Xbox was to split the generation, kind of take Xbox Series S toward kids and family, take Xbox Series X more toward the traditional Xbox experience, to where when kids start aging out of Series S, they can get into Series X, and then you've got two ecosystems. You've got the lower end, the kids, the family, just that market that is clearly saturated by Nintendo at the moment, and PlayStation's not trying to get into that. Xbox, they already have the blueprint. They already have the developers. They've already got Rare. They've already got incredible developers. And once they get Activision, they'll have Toys for Bob. They'll have other developers that they can assign to just build the Series S platform. Like say it's like PlayStation's Vita, you know what I mean? Or PlayStation's PSVR 2. They can 100% do a sub ecosystem inside of Xbox for Xbox Series S that wouldn't hold back the Xbox Series X in any way. And then you wouldn't be able to say it was holding back the Xbox Series X. Then they could fully utilize the Xbox Series X to 100% compete against the PlayStation 5. I do think that this is the smartest, best way forward for Xbox. Am I saying that the Xbox Series S is not capable? No, I'm not saying that. I do believe that anything is portable back to Series S. I 100% believe that. We've seen The Witcher 3 running on a Nintendo Switch, but should it? Is the question. That's the thing. Should The Witcher 3 be on Nintendo Switch? I mean, it's there, might as well play it, but it's not the optimal experience to be having on a Nintendo Switch. That's why I'm saying if they're smart, they'll split the generation. They'll take Xbox Series S. They'll go for the kids. They'll go for the family. They'll try to build that ecosystem, from the ground up to build Xbox out to be a better platform. It would only help. Now, yes, of course, there's going to be a lot of people out there that have already bought Xbox Series S that would be disappointed by that. But if Xbox was willing to offer you a trade to trade up to an Xbox Series X, I don't see what the problem is. They've already got your money. They can refurbish the Xbox Series S. They can resell it, on a used market, whatever. They can find a way to recoup that money as well as that. Because instead of lowering the price of Xbox Series S to $200 to try to get people to buy it, just 100% aim it for that other crowd. There's no reason that this thing is far more superior than a Nintendo Switch. And Xbox does own enough studios to build the Xbox Series S platform into a great kids and family platform. I made this video a long time ago, guys, because I felt like this before I even bought Xbox Series S. But now that I've got it, yeah, it is hard. It would be, it's hard to look at that, but we have to. We have to look at this. We have to find a solution to this problem. All of these Xbox games are getting pushed back, guys. They're all getting pushed back. And I'm old enough to remember when Halo Infinite, when they dropped couch co-op off of Halo Infinite because of compatibility issues with the older consoles. I'm old enough to remember that. They have already changed in the Redfall description 60 FPS. They've already taken that off of there. It does not say 60 FPS in there anymore. It is 100% now marketed as a 30 frames per second game. So you tell me, is this something that we're going to get later down the road or what? But I'm not willing to. I'm not going to sit here and try to defend Xbox every time they do something stupid like this. I'm not. Like, I'm already irritated that I don't have a release date for Forza. That's the one game I want the most. Everything else is like, yeah, I definitely want to play it. I want to play Starfield, stuff like that. But I don't want to sit and deal with this disappointment. Like, I'm not going to. Like, up to that, Xbox, everything they promised, they pretty much gave me. I was happy, I was content, I was satisfied. But now it's like negative, it's like defeatism. Like, I'm always feeling like, like, oh man, like, when are you gonna let us be happy, Xbox? I had to deal with the little Xbox fanboys about that. What are you talking about? When is Xbox gonna let us be happy? They got us Game Pass and stuff. Game Pass is great, guys. I've been a staunch supporter of Game Pass since I started this channel. It is fabulous. It is a great value. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, Xbox this. I did not go easy on PlayStation when they raised the price to $70. I'm not going to do it for Xbox. They raised the price of their games to $70, and now we're getting games that aren't even finished. Now they're going to launch games that aren't finished and expect us to pay $70 for those games or play them on Game Pass or whatever. Like, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. It's not. And I mean, the PlayStation fanboys have been yelling this stuff. And like, some of it could potentially turn out to be true. And I don't like that any more than you like that. But at the same time, we have to face reality here. We have to 100% face reality and demand that Xbox fix this issue. Because I do kind of feel like they might have made some mistakes and maybe some miscalculations in like RAM speed, RAM allotment, processing power, graphics power. They might have like cut themselves pretty short to try to keep this thing under budget to get it out at a lower budget. But in the end, they might have handicapped themselves to a point that, like, even if the games that they produce on the Xbox Series X can be scaled down to run on Series S, is it going to be a good enough experience to ask you to pay $70 for it? That's pretty much what you need to ask yourself at the end of the day. Will it be a good enough experience? Now, we need to talk about third-party support for this. We've seen some pretty dang good third-party support. And I do think that third-party developers would be more than willing to find a way to support the Xbox Series S without having to alter or change the way they want to build their AAA experiences. I do feel like they would be more than willing to meet Microsoft halfway and help them build a platform for the younger people. I do think that they would do that. And I feel like, I mean, Microsoft has Mojang too. They can build Series S games. They have the resources. They have the platform. They have what they need to make both platforms successful. They have that. So when it comes to like defending Xbox blindly for everything, no, man, we can't do that anymore, guys. We have to hold them accountable, at least to a point where it's like, come on, man, we're not going to keep dealing with this whole like games getting delayed. I don't want Redfall to be a shoddy experience on Series X. I don't want any of these other games to come out like Redfall or Fable or any of these games to come out and literally be like pruned back so that they can run on the Series S. Because I know this is putting a lot of pressure on Xbox first party developers. And we can't literally expect Bethesda to come in and like hold Xbox on its shoulders. We can't expect that, man. Like, no. They need to just be a part of the overall Xbox ecosystem. And, a few of them, Bethesda developers, should support the Xbox Series S ecosystem. There's a lot they can do there. There's a lot they can do there to build that platform and make it stronger. So let me know in the comment section how you guys feel about this, because I have been thinking about this for a while. And I would like to hear what you guys have to say. I don't need none of your little fanboy comments, PlayStation guys. We don't need to listen to that. We don't care. We want to make gaming better for everybody and find a solution to where Xbox gamers are not having to sit and wait and have features torn out from under them. Like that's not cool, man. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate you.